What's up? This is James from Vader, and you're watching an interview under fire.
What do you have to say? For the devil says the rough is me. I am fired.
All right, man. James, welcome back to Texas. When was the last time you guys were here? As far as Vader's concerned.
Vader were back here 2017 on the headlining run with Internal Bleeding. I think we played the Garage actually.
Yeah, this was June 2017, right?
Yeah.
So I missed it the last time you were around. So I gotta ask you, where are you from originally?
I am from a town called Reading in the UK, which is, you might know the festival.
So when you hear the word Texas, what do you think of?
I think of rattlesnakes, snakeskin boots, cowboy hats, and cacti.
Okay, so if you were to, so let's say I've never been to the UK. What's the first thing you would tell me to go see if I were to go to visit the UK?
Oh man, fucking fish and chips, rain.
Spice Girls?
Spice Girls, are they still a thing?
Do they still
exist? Fuck. So you know more about it than I do. What else? You know, Big Ben. There is loads of cool stuff to see. Non-Londony things like the Peak District is actually amazing.
Yeah.
We do have some nature and some mountains and stuff still, but they don't get talked about that much. Yorkshire's killer for that too.
I mean, as you can see, the nature is kind of a little weird. Down here in Texas, it could snow one day and then 20 days the next day.
Yeah, we've noticed.
So, you guys are on tour right now with Abysmal Dawn, Hideous Divinity, and Vitriol.
Yeah.
How's the tour going? You guys just kicked that off for 2020?
Yeah, it's just started, but it's really super easy tour. You know, all the bands are killer.
Yeah.
There's not really any. There's been no major problems, touch wood, and everything's just sick, man. It's really
So
really
third
cool.
Texas date in like 4 nights, I believe, right?
Yeah, we've done 4, or we will be doing 4 by the end. It was, where did we start out? El Paso, Austin, Dallas today, and Houston tomorrow.
So when did you come to join Vader? And they've been around for, you're talking about coming up to 40 years of the band in existence. When did you come in, and then how did you see yourself fitting into the band?
Well, I joined in 2011, and
so almost 10 years. Yeah.
It's coming up. Yeah, slowly. 9 this year. So I was in another band supporting them, and they picked me up basically straight from university. I went straight into my first ever job, which was Vader. 21-year-old kid.
Playing festivals, going to Vakken.
Yeah, I started off on festival season. Yeah, first gig was it was Vader, then Exodus, Morbid Angel, Judas Priest.
Jeez.
So it's
know?
Yeah, it's kind of a tradition in Vader that whenever there's a new guy, the first gig is always a big one.
And it was with Judas Priest. You know, Peter mentioned how Judas Priest kind of made him a metalhead.
Yeah.
Out of why he does what he does. And was it kind of almost surreal coming out of, I mean, you're talking about university, coming out of the scene in the metal industry, playing with the Titans like Judas Priest. Like, how was that like?
That was a culture shock for sure. You know, I did one small, because I was at music college, so I was in bands and stuff as well. And so before I left, I did one small gig in a pub to like 50 people, and then out into an arena with about 5,000-6,000 people.
Vakken's, it's known as like the heavy metal mecca of festivals.
Vakken.
Vakken,
yeah. We did that back in 2016.
Now, so it's like now, fast forward almost 10 years later, it's kind of just second nature to you.
Yeah. You know, it's there's no nerves, or it's not a shock anymore. You know, and especially because I've been doing extra session work and stuff. It's not really I'm involved in this now, like all the time. So it's.
Do you still get nervous before a show?
Nah. No, these days no. Only if there's like a big set change, or if it's first show with a new band.
Yeah.
You know.
So, you talk about all these festivals that you just named. There was one other interview that one of your band members said how Vader is best when they're headlining. You know, when it's festivals, it's a whole different atmosphere. But when you're headlining a tour like this, you get the most of Vader? Why is that?
Well, what I would say about it really is there's two different aspects. You know, when you're on a festival, let's say you've got a 40-minute to 50, sometimes 60-minute set generally. On the bigger festivals for sure, because we're not going to be headlining those. So we've got 40 minutes, 50 minutes to prove ourselves. So we normally just go ultra hard and fast, and we do that to deliberately polarize people, just immediately beat the shit out of them, and if they don't like it, they'll go. So we do the most Vader of a Vader set list, whereas when we do a headline, we know that a lot of the people are coming to see us, so we can put in some older cuts or some B-sides or something, some surprises, and also play the songs that beat the shit out of people, so we can show off more sides rather than just having something to prove in a short space of time.
As long as you're beating the shit out of people, y'all are good, right?
We've had this debate. This debate rages on in pretty much every band ever. When you're on a festival, do you kind of fit in with the bands that you're playing with, or if it's a support slot, do you kind of shape your set to fit in with the other bands, or do you just can do the most anti of those bands you can do? And we like to do them. Like, for example, when we played with Overkill, we were thinking about playing some more thrashy stuff to fit in with that crowd. But then
they've been around for a while too.
But then we just said, no, fuck it, we'll play. We'll play our heavy shit, and then some people won't like it. But it gives people a different flavour, because they come into Overkill for the thrash. So let's give something else.
Well, talking about different flavors. I mean, talking about a band that's been around for 40 years. You coming on your decade with the band. Do you see a different group of fans everywhere you go? Like when you talk about playing to the new school and the old school, now you're releasing a new album that's coming up, a killer album, which shocked and awed me. Like, do you see a whole new group of fans you're bringing in, or is it like the same fans you see like over time?
I don't know. I think this is. It's hard to say, really. I mean, we are seeing a few more youngsters in our shows now. I think that's more to do with the bands that we're actually playing with. Vitriol is definitely bringing in some more younger faces, which is great. They're a killer band. They're doing something old school still, but they're just a younger up and comer, and they're hitting really hard. It's great. And same with Hideous Divinity, and even Abysmal Dawn are a bit younger. At least the band is younger and more technical, more out there. So it's bringing in some younger people than Vader would typically on their own. But that's introducing those newer people. So I think when the new album drops, we'll get an increase in younger fans.
Maybe bring in more even new fans. I mean,
that's the aim. That's always the aim.
So do you have a favorite gig that stands out? You're talking about playing in front of all these fans and different generations. Is there a show that stands out to you that you want to be like, holy fuck, this is something I remember?
There's a few. I mean, the gigs that stand out really. The festivals I did on my first ever run with Vader, I got to go around and kind of have a second shot at pretty much all of them. I think actually at all of them, because I wasn't that comfortable. I was really, really fresh, and it was a stressful time, so I didn't really enjoy those festivals. So all the coming back and doing those festivals again and kind of walking off stage, this time I nailed it. Kind of draw a line under it. So I remember all the festivals the second time round, if that makes sense. So that was nice, because I on the first shows I never really felt like I did that great. So it was nice to be able to walk off the second time and be like, yeah, now I nailed it. I nailed it twice as much for the last time and for this one.
So do you have a show that you don't? I was gonna follow up. It's a show that kind of like you want to put in the back of your head and you don't want to think about it anymore.
Oh, there's loads of disaster gigs.
Yeah.
Always, we had plenty in wild countries like South America and Russia and stuff, where the PA blowers will suddenly like all the kick drums just go out of the PA or whatever, but you've still got to carry on because cancelling the show, you risk a riot or whatever. And so there's always loads of horrible gigs, but I'd say it's like 90% killer ones. Yeah. So it's a good average.
So where do your I want to speak on your drumming.
Yeah.
Where do your influences come from?
My metal start, people my age, metal always started with Slipknot pretty much. All drummers start with Joey Jules if they're my age. Krim was the same as well, and quite a few other people.
Did you always start off with playing drums as when
No, I actually heard metal. I heard metal first.
Okay.
And then the opportunity just to learn drums in school came up, and I figured, I'll try it. And it very quickly, I took to it pretty quick, and then I realised, I like metal.
Yeah.
Metal bands have drummers.
Yeah.
I should join a metal band.
A, B, C.
Yeah.
Okay, this all fits in.
But when you're 12, it takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
But
so I want to talk about this new album coming up.
Yeah.
So, new album, Solitude and Madness.
Yeah.
What is different about the writing process of this album? If there was anything different that was about this album, as opposed to the previous ones you've been
with the writing process, there's not too much different, but it was more that it was a total change of scenery. We went actually to the UK. We went and worked with a producer called Scott Atkins.
Okay.
Who I've worked with for a long time on different projects, but he's very new for Vader. It's very new for Pete. It's a whole different way of working. Scott is really militant about, he's always looking for mistakes and for details and stuff. So he really made everybody in the studio work very, very hard. I think it took Pete a little bit by surprise. I think he was expecting to be done a little faster, but Scott was really making him work on the vocal takes and on the guitars. So every now and then I got texts from Pete while he was in the studio going, Scott's making me do this like a million times, I'm really tired. I was just thinking, good, that's what
sometimes it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that's what it needs. You can really hear it's come out in the production, it sounds so much more aggressive and in your face this time. And
Pete said that this was the most brutal album in Vader's discography. Do you believe that? How do you view this album?
I guess it depends on how you define brutality. Because what I liked about older Vader brutality stuff, if you listen to like Litany, there's a lot of treble in that mix.
That's my favorite.
It's almost tinny. The snare's like really boxy, and the kick drum is like some Euro dance kick. And on paper, or in theory, it's a terribly produced record, but it sounds so killer.
Sometimes that raw sound is probably something people are looking for.
So that's like it's brutal because there's a lot of blast and the production's super raw.
Yeah.
But this is brutal in a different way. This is kind of much more controlled. There's a lot of blast, but everything is much more balanced, clearer. So the brutality is more in the performance aspect of it. Anything
you changed specifically, or stuck with the same formula you had with this album? You specifically, as an artist.
You know what? My approach to every album, depending whatever band or whatever session I'm doing, is just do my best and be open to new ideas. So sometimes Scott would push me in a different direction. We'd have to think on our feet a little bit and change drum parts, and that was cool. But really, just go in and do whatever I can to the best of my ability. I don't have any other process other than that. Just.
How do you feel overall? Good. Scale of 1 to 10.
Well, I would be an 8, but being English, you have to scale that down to a 6. You have to be. You have to be calm all the time. No, I'm feeling good, and I'm really excited about the album. I think it's going to be.
Any new tunes we might be able to hear tonight?
Just the one, just Shock and Awe at the moment. We've got a new one ready to release, but we're waiting on on the label for the final decision on when that happens.
All right. Well, I look forward to it, man.
Me too. I can't wait for that one to drop. It's my favorite.
I mean, I've done nothing but listen to your discography for the last like week or so, everything's like fresh to my memory. So, and the new album, just I love how your songs are just so. It's the way your songs are structured. It's like 2 minute, 3 minute, but it's like
really
it's
to
linear,
the point.
Yeah, it's to the point.
It's really there's no fat on those songs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple more questions.
Yeah.
So you already saw this. I'm just gonna say it anyway.
Yeah.
Out of you guys, who's the funniest and who's the most serious?
It's both me. It is both me. Seriously.
Okay.
I'll lose my shit really quick if someone's not behaving.
But then you'll be joking like the very next minute, right?
Yeah, really. And sometimes I pretend to lose my shit and be serious, but actually I'm joking. And
yeah, I think we have that in common.
yeah, so I've learned that I have to sort of laugh at my own jokes a little bit, otherwise people don't know whether or not I'm joking.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
Yeah, it's me. I'm just a prick.
All right, so I'm gonna ask. I don't think we actually talked about this. Your favorite? Do you have a favorite non-metal artist that you would wish to collaborate with?
Yeah, well,
choose.
I've got there's loads. I spend a lot of time really not listening to metal. When you do this stuff for a living, the last thing you want to do is listen to Origin when you get back on the bus. Right. Not that I hate Origin. Origin is sick, but it's not what I want after a whole night of metal. At the moment, I'm spinning a lot of Anna von Householf, so that would probably be my go-to right now. There's a few others, but I think that would actually be a really cool fit. She's got really dark music. It's almost metal, and it fits in with the metal crowd, but it's not metal. It's great.
Right on, man. If you weren't a musician, if you weren't a drummer, what would you think you'd be doing right now?
I would be involved in metal in some way, I think, because it had such an impact on me. I didn't really know what I stumbled on at the time, but I knew that I knew that was something in that.
The music.
I'd probably be a shitty guitarist and then end up being crew somewhere, like stagehand or tech or maybe at some point TM or something, I don't know. But I think I'd be involved in metal somewhere.
Well, it's what I appreciate. The reason why I do what I do is because of the material you guys put out, and I really appreciate what you guys have done in the metal world. A lot of other bands too.
Thank you.
I mean, probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the music of metal. So.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's
okay. So I got a last question.
Yeah.
Vader comes from Star Wars. Did you know about that before you came to the band?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the guys before already anyway.
Yeah.
So. And I was a fan before that, so when I found out we were going to be touring with them, I did my research. I mean, I kind of was vaguely aware that it might come from Star Wars or that it's German for father or whatever. Yeah, when I picked up the CD the first time, I was like, Vader. It's got to be something else. It can't be Star. There's got to be coincidence. It turns out no, it's totally Star Wars. And we still get asked. People still like. Smart people come on. Oh yeah, Vader means father. That's what it is. It's like no, it's literally Star Wars, man.
It's like a Star Wars.
It's just a good film. Shut up.
All right, favorite episode. I gotta ask.
Empire Strikes Back, mate. It's gotta be.
I'm a sucker for trilogies, so Return of the Jedi goes way back for me. So
yeah, it closes everything off nicely, but Empire Strikes Back is when you get to see it's the dark one. It's when everything it all goes to shit before the nice ending of Return of the Jedi,
Have you seen the new ones though? Have you seen 7, 8, 9?
I haven't seen 9. I've heard it's really bad.
See, here's the thing. A lot of people said that, but I don't.
It's really polarizing.
I'm telling you, as a Star Wars fan, to not listen to those reviews and just go see it without having anything.
Yeah, I'd love to. We've just been so busy preparing for this stuff that we haven't had the chance, but
just Netflix it.
I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah.
I will, no matter what happens. But I haven't had a chance to see it. Episode 7 was really good though.
Yeah, I love it too.
I didn't really like.
Episode 8.
We don't have to go into that. I didn't like the Carrie Fisher scene where she suddenly wakes up and then goes.
Yeah.
And starts floating through space. I was like, oh man, that's so fucking weak.
Alright, well, I'm just going to leave it at that because we could go on for that. James, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, no problem.
You have a great tour.
Thanks, man.
Have a killer show tonight. Go crush it. I'll be right next to you.
Alright, dude.